Bisa benar.
Is manta considered classified as an endangered species?
They're actually, both species are actually classified under the IUCN Red List of Threatened Species. They're classified as vulnerable, which means that they are actually very vulnerable to becoming extinct. They're actually very recently been uplisted from near threatened to vulnerable, further sort of showing how threatened these species really are.
So what is the main threat? Let's talk about the threat.
Well, the largest threat to manta rays and their close cousins, the Mobula rays, is actually this targeted fishery, which is unfortunately starting to happen, and it's only really starting to happen in the last 10 years, so it's quite a recent thing. But due to a demand from China for their gill rakers, manta rays are now targeted and exported commercially to China and Singapore and Hong Kong.
What are the gills used for?
They're actually used as a medicine, believe it or not. And I say traditional Chinese medicine, but actually it's quite a new medicine. It's not actually in the old Chinese traditional literature. So yeah, this is a new demand, but it's worth a lot of money. The value of the gill rakers, the manta rays gill rakers, are huge. And Chinese businessmen, we think, are probably encouraging fishermen now to target manta rays specifically for their gill rakers.
So according to your information, it is a new trend.
Relatively new.
It's not perhaps something that's been going on for centuries, but it has come to your attention recently.
Exactly. I mean, going back historically, it may have been used as a remedy, but it never really was a valuable one. It was never there was never a huge demand for the gill rakers in China. But yeah, in the last decade, we've seen a huge increase in demand for these gill rakers, and the price as well is rising. And so the numbers of manta rays landed and the fishing effort for these species is increasing all around the world. And it's a huge threat to manta rays because, like I said previously, their reproductive cycles means that they can't repopulate very quickly. So if you're taking out large numbers from a population, they're unlikely to be able to recover.
So, as a result of the demand for gill rakers, this new, let's call it a new industry, like targeted fishing is developing fast out here.
Yeah, it is. I mean, we're seeing in certain fishing villages in Indonesia where they were originally just once fishing manta rays on a subsistence level, so they just fished them and the meat would be eaten locally, sold and eaten locally. We're now seeing that these traditional sort of just subsistence fisheries have turned into commercial ventures, so that they're targeting far more mantas than they used to, and they're making a lot of money from it, and they're selling them to businessmen from outside of their village. We've seen that the gills are being sold to sort of middlemen in Jakarta and Surabaya, and then from there they're bought by businessmen from China, Singapore, Hong Kong. So it really is, a big commercial venture. And like I said, they're huge. It's really worth a lot of money. So a lot of these villages, they are got this opportunity to make more money. So we can't point fingers and blame the fishermen for wanting to move on and target these fisheries on a bigger scale, because it's a source of income for them.